You are not just an everyday woman. Today, I have a wonderful guest here with me for today's conversation that you are not just an everyday woman and how to heal after PTSD and become self empowered. So, today, my special guest is Natalie Tedman. Hi, Natalie, how are you?
Hi, Raymonda. Good, thank you. I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to have you here. This conversation is so important. And the first time I met Natalie, her story really touched me. Just the bravery, how strong she is, and some of the things that she has had to overcome. But more than that is her passion to empower other moms and other women to really find their self-love and overcome trauma. So today we are going to be talking about trauma. So if just to be aware, this might be triggering and some stories are personal in this live. But I do hope you get to join us because I believe that this story that we're going to be sharing today by Natalie is going to be really inspiring for you and perhaps for other listeners as well. So feel free to share this with anyone who you think this might be relevant to. And leave a comment. Let us know where in the world you're joining us from today and your name, what you do. Would love to get to know you a little bit better. So, if we haven't met Natalie, I'm excited to have her here because she is one of our VIP speakers for the Women Thrive Summit in March happening. This is our annual event. But Natalie is also a certified master coach in self care, self love, and mental health based in the UK. Her holistic approach brings clarity, direction, and compassionate support to her clients. So, she uses her own life experiences going through significant trauma and mental health difficulties to transform her own life, but now does the same with her clients through self-care and self-love journey. Natalie, great to have you here. Where do we begin? Tell me more about the work that you're currently doing and who do you support in your work?
So, I currently serve overwhelmed working mums. I was the overwhelmed working mum. Having experienced my own sort of mental health stuff, it's kind of impacted and sort of built up over time, and yeah, it became really overwhelming for me. And life can get on top of us, especially us mums. And so yeah, so I teach mums to um, just gather the tools and techniques that can help them overcome being anxious or depressed, or just really stressed out. So yeah, I know what works for me and what works for my clients. So I'm just really pleased that I've overcome all these things and now I can help other women overcome it as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not an easy journey. I have been through depression in my 20s, and it's a really lonely journey. If you think about it, sometimes it really consumes us, our thoughts, our mind, and prevents us from really moving forward. So, especially PTSD and postnatal disorders as well, it's a really big struggle. So, we're here to talk about that. So, Natalie, just bring me back a little bit in how it all started to your story, where it all perhaps gone wrong, and you started to realize, well, this is something is not right.
So 2016, I was in bed asleep, and something woke me up. And you go to the bathroom, come back to bed until your alarm wakes you up. Essentially, don't you? You have a little snooze. But in that moment, I went back to bed. My partner um, actually had a seizure, and then he stopped breathing. Um, and so I obviously rang the ambulance. I had to, drag his 6'3" body onto the floor, and I had to perform CPR. And yeah, really traumatic. You know, just the panic and the flashbacks that I would get of just his skin turning blue, the lifeless eyes just sort of looking through me. It was really just those visions that I kept having, and just the immediate panic. So yes, that was really traumatic for me. And that sort of carried on. Although I did get support from, we're lucky to have the NHS in England. I did get some counselling to try and help me process that. I realise now, looking back, that I hadn't healed that at all, because later on we had our son, and as I was giving birth, he had heart issues, and so I had to have an emergency C-section, and that immediately I was like in that fear of, oh my God, he's going to die as well. And, it was just, it consumed my mind constantly. And yeah, so after that, my mental health just sort of declined further and further. I was in constant anxiety, and I developed depression, and just got into a really dark place, essentially, and became really overwhelmed with life and my mental state. Just couldn't cope. So, but I'm still here. I'm still here to live and tell the story of how I overcame it all.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine going through one thing after the other, and I'm sure, not only how you felt inside, but what it also caused for you in your heart and in your mind. When you realized that something obviously wasn't right and you started to experience, first of all, what did you experience going through this journey?
So naturally, like when the initial incident happened, that was just such a shock to my system. But you just go into fight or flight, right? It depends on different people, but I couldn't not just try and save his life. I felt compelled to have to try. You have to try, but some people might freeze in that scenario.
Yeah.
We're all different, but I immediately went into survival fight mode, and thank God I did. But yeah, it's that huge panic, and then the anxiety of what if it happens again? What if it happens when he's driving and has a crash? What if he's away and I can't get to him? I can't save his life again. So although he does have a defibrillator fitted in his chest, it's the what ifs and the panic that it just sort of washes over you, like, where is he? What's happened? Like, has it happened again? It's that constant anxiety, and it was just so overwhelming for me. And I just couldn't shake it. I didn't know how to work through it. So yeah, it was really difficult.
What helped you start healing yourself? Because I know you've been through a huge healing journey of yourself
Mm.
post all of these experiences in your life, but what has helped you set yourself free from, the thoughts and perhaps the struggles that you going through?
Meditation has been big for me. So as an overwhelmed mum, I didn't have time for myself, or thought I didn't. It's about making time for yourself, grounding yourself, making that space in your mind to be calm, to stop thinking all the stressful thoughts, to return back to you, um, to just recenter and feel that you're in control, and whatever happens to you does not define you. It doesn't have to control the rest of your life. Um, Other things like movement is so important. I love to dance. I love music. It fills my soul. Um, so yeah, doing the things that make you really happy and
Yeah.
fill you up. Just talking to yourself and other women on this journey has just been so beautiful, because we've just connected, and the compassion and support that we get from connecting with others has been such a gift for me. And other things such as just being really careful about what you consume. Like, if you're going to watch the news constantly, you're getting negative negative stuff in your mind. So I was very conscious of what I was listening to. I'd watch, positive motivational speakers on YouTube, or listening to like positive podcasts, audiobooks, all the things you listening to something while you're driving or at work, if possible. It's just about being aware of what you're putting into your mind. So yeah, those are some things that I found really useful to take control back and to rewire your brain to look at the positives rather than sit in that anxiety and depression. So that's what really helped me. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, because it is an everyday choice, and I feel like we don't always, and when we get into situations, it really goes into a spiral
Mm,
where you're out of control. But then almost you have to make that interference with your mind and make a change or do something else that will pull you out of it or even distract you for a moment.
mm.
So, what inspired you to start working with others and actually pursue this journey of going into being certified coach and work with others?
So sadly, it started with being in that really dark place. And my son, actually, he was my reason to get myself out of this really dark place. He deserves to still have his mum exist. um, he doesn't deserve to be traumatized. You know,
Yeah.
if I had chosen not to continue to live, so he was my initial reason. And then I began my self care journey. I started to look after myself better. I started to eat better. Don't get me wrong, I still love eating chocolate and having a glass of wine. But, you know, just being mindful of what we're eating, and getting out in sunshine, just going for a walk. I just made them sort of daily rituals that I tried to do every day. Um, and I wasn't in a fulfilling job at all. I just did a very boring, mundane job because it worked around childcare, as you do. Us mums just do whatever needed to be done for the kids. Um, but I did the things that I needed to do to keep me feeling better. And you just reach for the next best thing. You can't just jump straight to joy and in love with your life if you're depressed, right? So you just keep reaching for the next best thing. What's going to make me feel better now? I'm just going to curl up and read a book, right? If that's all that you can do that day, that's okay. Um, so for me, yeah, music, listening to good stuff, going for walks, getting out in nature, reconnecting with Mama Gaia, is just really healing, and connecting with people. I was so alone in this journey that I didn't feel like, so this is all my self-worth stuff, right? I didn't feel like I was worthy of people's time, and I felt like a burden if I shared, my difficult days. I didn't want to talk to people and bring them down. um, so I was very conscious of that, but it's been a real journey for me to build my self-esteem back up, um, to make myself feel better. we can't we can't find things outside ourselves to make us happy. Only we can do that ourselves. So stop looking outside yourself, to make you feel better. You have to find it within, and a bit of self-discipline. Even though you don't want to get up and get out, you just do it, and you'll feel so much better for it. So yeah, initially started from really dark, depressed state, to fighting for my son to be a better mum, to feel better for myself, but for him to be a better mum and more present and more happy. Because our kids are watching us. They're observing our behaviours, our habits. They literally learn everything from us as their parents. And if we don't look after ourselves, what are we teaching our kids? And I'm really passionate about that because surely we want our kids to learn to be happy adults. And they're
Yeah.
growing up so fast, you know. This is the time that we need to change now for ourselves and for our families. So, yeah, so I now help women look after themselves, fill our own cups so we can then pour into others, into our kids, teach them how to be happy. Um, and yeah, it passes down the generations, hopefully, and hopefully save lives. There's so much suicide still,
Yeah.
globally. The whole global mental health crisis is insane, and we just need to learn the tools to look after ourselves, and then we can teach our kids. So yeah, I'm quite passionate, as you can tell. I just don't want people to suffer
Well, that's good.
needlessly. you know
I know, and that's what really stands out about you, just your compassion, knowing that you've been through it yourself and your compassion for others. Because when we are going through this, as you say, we don't want to be a burden. We don't know where to reach out for help. I know personally when I was going through some struggles in my life, asking for help and recognizing I needed help was the hardest thing, because we don't want to see ourselves as victims as well, and or put ourselves in that position of being a victim, so we fight through it. But here's the thing, you don't have to do it alone. And especially when, and I know you quite openly speak about even feeling suicidal, right? And that's the place you don't want anyone to feel or be alone, because it could be just that one step, from that leap, or it could be just one step away from saving your life. And if you are watching this, if you're having any of those thoughts or you're struggling, please reach out to Natalie, because it would just reach out for help, right? Just reach out for help and don't feel alone, because you don't have to do it today. You don't have to do it alone. And I was just reading titles like, you're not just an everyday woman, right? As much as we, in our depression state, in our anxiety, we feel like, who am I to, right? And this is happening to me. But guess what? You are made on purpose. You are here for a reason. Like Natalie, when I met you in person, I was like, you're just a bundle of joy. I know you've been through so much in your life. Like you have been through masses of just just a lot of challenges. But your heart and your soul, and you light up the room and you walk in, and it's like, imagine life was missing you, right? Like that would be devastation to the world not to have your light. And each and every one of you, no matter how much you think that you're just an everyday woman, a wife, or mother, you're needed in this world. Your little baby needs you in this world. So we've got to do what we've got to do to fight through, whether it's depression, anxiety, PTSD, or whatever other mental health issues that might be happening, not because of fault of your own. And I know you advocate for this, Natalie.
Absolutely. Yeah. No one should get to that place. But if we learn the tools and the techniques to prevent getting to that real low, deep depression, the whole world could change, our whole perspective on mental health. If we just talk and connect with someone, that one conversation can change someone's life. So I'm really passionate about making sure people don't get to that place where they have to make a choice whether to live or survive. So, yeah, you know what I meant, to live or not live. So I just know firsthand what it feels like. In my family, we've experienced this, the same, loss from suicide, and it's really impacted us as a family. So I'm now, so I just feel compelled that it's part of my purpose to educate people to not only just survive their mental health difficulties, PTSD, trauma, whatever you've been through, that with the tools and techniques that we can overcome anything. We are powerful beyond measure. We don't even realize, especially women. We give birth, we give life. Like it's amazing what we can do, and we just need to learn to believe it. That is all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know there are women out there who have something so special and have gifts that the world needs. So we have to just discover them and get it out there, help each other. Women empowering other women is so powerful. And I'm just so grateful that I've met you, Raymonda. And that was a miracle in itself, how we connected. So I feel really blessed and very grateful to have this experience and opportunity to share my message and help other women. So thank you.
Thank you. And, I appreciate that. I appreciate so much because I feel such a privilege to speak to women like yourself who, you know, overcome so many things in their lives, but more than that, have so much passion and dedication to help others. It doesn't matter. I think that's what's really special about women, that sometimes we could be in the darkest places in our own lives, but yet we want to help somebody else. And that compassion for others is just amazing. So thank you. And you are a speaker at the Women Thrive Summit. What is your
Maybe.
talk? Yes. What is your talk going to be about? And why should people come and join you?
So, as you know, I was the overwhelmed working mum, and I've overcome all of that. And so, my talk will be how to get unstuck as an overwhelmed working mum and on the pathway to time and financial freedom. I had to educate myself and go on all this training and learn all this stuff in order to build this business and in order to do something purposeful and fulfilling that will reward ourselves and help other people. That's how I help women to build that and to get on the pathway to time and financial freedom. But it starts with self-love, self-care, managing our mental health. So yeah, come join us at the summit, listen to my talk. I'm really excited to connect with people and hopefully I'll see you there. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks. Thank you so much. So, if you want to join Natalie and hear a little bit more about her story and also learn the tools for self love, self care, and just really working on our mental health to have those tools that will empower you long term. So, not just today, but also in the future, or if you need to support others through this journey, because it's so common these days to experience that or have someone in your family or circle who's going through it and you need those tools. So Women Thrive Summit is our global women empowerment event that happens every year. It's the third week of March. If you haven't signed up for your ticket yet, go over to womenthrivesummit.com, register for your spot. This year we have 47 plus because we are announcing some amazing headline speakers. So there will be probably 50 women on this summit, and I'm very excited because we're covering a lot of amazing things, not only just topics on mental health, healing, spirituality, confidence building, self-worth, personal branding, marketing, business, visibility, how to escape your career, and so many other areas that brings it all as a holistic approach for all women to rise and thrive. Doesn't matter whether you're a business owner, entrepreneur, whether you're a successful woman, or you're just starting out in this world, in building out a career. Women Thrive Summit is there to help you learn, grow, and connect with others. So Natalie, thank you so much for being here today and just being so amazing to share your story.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
How do people get in touch with you?
Uh, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me on Natalie Tedman _life coach on Instagram, and I'll have my link will have access to all the other goodies that I can offer. So yeah, find me, follow me, and I'll look forward to connecting. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it. So, all of you watching this, thank you so much for being here. If this inspired you, or if you know someone who needs to hear this conversation, please feel free to share it. If you're watching this on replay, just put replay in the comments below. And thank you all who stayed with us today or might be joining late and just wanted to show your love. Really appreciate that. And, like I said, Natalie just has such a pure heart to support other perhaps overwhelmed moms or those who are going through any kind of mental health issues right now. She is a certified coach, so she's not just become a coach just yesterday. So she is certified and have been through professional training to be where she is today. And more than anything, she just wants to make sure that her experience and her story can help you overcome some of the difficult things you might be going through right now. So thank you all so much, and we look forward to seeing you on another live. Thanks, Nat. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye for now.